Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of The Drop, the official podcast of the 130th Airlift Wing. I'm Master Sergeant DeJuan Haley, a public affairs specialist with the 130th Airlift Wing. One of our missions with The Drop is to highlight the unique stories of our unit members. We are a unit with members who have diverse backgrounds and life experiences, so it is our goal to tell the stories of how these incredible individuals became part of our unit. With me today is one such individual, Airman First Class Jorden McCormick, a services airman assigned to the 130th Force Support Squadron. Thank you for being on the show today, Airman McCormick, and I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Jorden McCormick. I've been born and raised in Charleston, West Virginia for pretty much all my life. I grew up in different parts of the town. I've lived in City Park, around Glenwood Avenue, Little Page Terrace. So I've been around more, let's say, lower income housing. I spent a couple years, a year living in a shelter with my grandmother. I'm at West Virginia State right now. I'm a junior in college, going back. Have about three more semesters left. So growing up in Charleston, it was very difficult time. I was adopted in the first grade by a lady named Crystal McCormick. Growing up was okay in the beginning. She was really determined, young African-American lady, single parent raising kids. So, growing up was good.
So how many kids were with you?
It was after everybody was adopted. Well, two of them, I have 4 siblings. I have one sister and 2 brothers. And so to adopt children, I believe you have to be 17 years or older than the kid that you're trying to adopt. So officially, only 2 of us got adopted. That was my brother, Manuel Lavano, and me. My sister and my brother just came to live with us. So altogether, there was 7 of us living in the household.
Okay. So were those, you said brothers and sisters, were those blood relatives?
Yes, sir. Sabrina Kincaid, that's my sister. My other brother was Jonathan Kincaid. That's my brother. And those are all blood relatives. Her kids was Scott Breeden, Brooklyn Breeden, and Honesty McCormick.
Okay. So I know we were talking earlier, and you have a unique background as far as, talk a little bit about your biological father and your mother.
Okay. My biological father, pretty much, he actually got deported. He was actually working on a visa and it actually ran out. So I was told by my mother and my grandmother that at an early age, probably like 1 or 2, that I can't visually memorize in my own past seeing him. So he got deported back. He's from Lima, Peru. I keep in contact with him on Facebook and Marketplace, but he speaks Spanish, so, I got to I'm taking classes now to learn the language. I also have sisters over there. I have one sister. I have a grandmother that live over there. My biological mom, her name is Carrie. She has schizophrenic, and she's like mentally ill, so it's hard to have a real conversation. And at a young age, I can remember her just sitting on the couch and like just having a tough time to talk to her and have like a real conversation, and her actually being a real mother. It was hard to grasp because, as a kid, you always want somebody to love you and somebody to actually talk to and explain your emotions to. But it's like she couldn't find the time. I had to realize it in my own head. Like, it's okay. It's actually something wrong with her. It's like she can't be a regular person because this is how schizophrenia works. This is how mental illnesses work. So I had to, at a very young age, realize that. So my granny raised me pretty much all the way up to first grade when I was adopted.
Okay.
And right now, I believe my mom, I'm not for sure where she lives. She lives, I think, in a middle home. And, like, still to this day, I can't sit, like, how we sat down and have a legit conversation. Like, she probably won't even remember, like, who I am as a person. So that, sometimes that gets tough, but I mean, I'm here today because of God at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
I thank Him for that, and that she's still alive.
So what were some things that you actually did to? Yeah, I think as a child, going through that, having a mother that you kind of see that you can't have like normal conversations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was kind of like your outlet to, express yourself?
I'm to express myself. I would say playing sports. I always wanted to play sports, but I didn't get the opportunity to actually play until like my 5th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I played for Midwestern on B team, so that was like my way to like get my anger out and like the situation that I was going through. That was a way for me to talk to people and open up in that type of way growing up.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your mentors?
Some of my mentors I had,
especially growing up during that time.
Growing up, let's see, during that time, like 1st through 8th grade, it was a pretty hard time. I know a lot of people talk about the opioid epidemic, and like I was really, really directly affected by that. Like my person that adopted me, like it hit hard. When I say it hit hard, I'm talking like you see it firsthand, like waking up in the morning and like pills and like smoking marijuana every day. Like that's the type of environment that I grew up in. Like every day, this is what I saw. So like it was really tough because at the end of the day, I had to really grow up. I had to look at life different. The type of, like I said, like I saw every day when I woke up. And by seeing that, I knew I didn't want to do that, and I had to. That's when I was playing football. I had to talk to different mentors. So like Jeff Biddle, he's a youth leader in my community. He's really helped me like talk about situations. For the longest, I would never open up about like my past and like people just doing drugs in the family and like how it really affected me. How like I really never had a father figure to teach me the ways of life and how I had to grow up really fast and really quickly. How to manage situations, how to be like in this situation, how to act professionally in a professional environment. Because all I knew was I didn't know how to correctly act in situations. Like I was never taught how to be a gentleman, how to show respect to other people. So I had to learn all these custom courtesies, how to have values, how to have goals. Like, so I had to learn that pretty fast. So Jeff Biddle opened me up to about God. I was very passionate about when he actually came to me and talked to me, because it was like, this man doesn't even know me. He doesn't even, you know what I mean? He came out of his own will to come talk to me about it. So, I bought in. I bought into the system. We started reading verses every day, going to church. It really changed my life. I feel like God kept me out of a lot of trouble, because at the end of the day, I felt like I could have been killed. I could have been selling drugs. I could have been on the other end of a bullet, or, because that's all I knew. Everybody in my family, that's all they did was sell drugs, do drugs. Like, nobody wanted to be a professional. Nobody wanted to step up and be a man and become something better or do something with their life. Like growing up, I used to sleep in 2 king-size beds. Like, I remember it'd be 4 of us laying in the bed. So, that was pretty tough growing up and realizing that. And sometimes, like after 8th grade, I left my house because, like I said, it was a situation that at a young age I had to realize and know that if I want to be anything in life, this is not a situation, a type of environment that you can produce and be successful in. So, I just started living friend to friend house, started living with my granny sometimes. I can vividly remember like sleeping on the streets for like a couple of days. So that honestly, that was probably the toughest times, was in high school and like moving house to house, and also staying in school, like having to stay in school, study, and being a part of the football team. Like, that took up time. That was honestly probably the toughest. And not growing up as a man, you always want to like growing up, I'll say, like minorities, like you want to impress people that you don't need to impress. Like I wanted to have the newest shoes. I was looking at some of my friends like, why you got that and I can't have it? You know, I used to get down on myself about stuff like that. But as I grew older, I realized that I mean that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is like your character, the way you treat people, your spiritual aspect, how you can treat others, bringing people up with you, telling your story, uplifting people. You know that's what I really found my passion in, growing up and having values, integrity. And I know we was talking about the Air Force stuff, and you know some people might just look at it and having integrity and excellence in all we do in service, but for yourself. But like before I came here, you know, I always wanted to have, I wanted to be a great person, but I didn't hang around with the best friends. So, like we was talking about, you are who you hang around. So, if I'm hanging around with bad people, you know, how am I supposed to be going to college and, you know, making something of myself when I'm hanging around people who are not doing the same?
Right.
As for say. So, you know, it came to a low point, again, in, let's say, sophomore year in college. I was dropping classes. I failed, actually, my first math class. So that was pretty hard. Like, I never failed a class, and I was thinking, like, man, like, how the heck, how did I fail? You know, I'm getting soft. Like, this isn't me. So I had to actually sit down and really look in the mirror and, like, ask myself, like, is this what you going to do? Because, I mean, you dropping all these classes, and eventually it's going to be like, you going to go back, and you just going to say, forget school. It's not for me. And you just going to give up. And I was just at a low point, like, in my mental aspect. Like I said, not having a father. Like, I still, I mean, I'm still growing to this day. I feel like you can grow every day and become a better person, 100%. Because, I mean, till this day, I'm still growing, and I'm figuring out how to network and talk to people still. So, that 10th grade year, I had to really do some looking in the mirror. And around December time, I remember, I think it was like December 15th, I went and talked to Sergeant Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down and talked about like things. I talked about him just about life and how life's going. And we actually had a serious conversation about like what's the next step in life and what's the Air Force has to offer.
Yeah.
And at first I just thought, I'm going to just talk to him about it. Maybe, I'll get my stuff together. Maybe the Air Force isn't just for me. I'm just talking. I'm just doing it in the moment.
Yeah. It's for reference. We're talking about Senior Master Sergeant Travis Walker. He's another services troop for the 130th Airlift Wing. And how did you link up with him?
I linked up with Travis because I date Haley Snodgrass, and that's somewhere along the family tree. He's related to him. So I've known Travis, say, for a long time, since high school. He used to come to my football games, and I knew of him, and like I used to talk to him every now and then. He used to come to the house and like Christmas parties and stuff. He always used to ask about me, like, "What are you doing for college? Where you going? You getting the offers and stuff like that." So yeah, we sat down and talked, and I don't think he think I was serious, like, cause I actually signed. Say this is in December, like the next year in September 30th. That's when I actually signed the dotted line. So I mean, I think it was a surprise to him and a surprise to me and myself that I actually signed.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's been the greatest thing that I've done in my life so far, because not only am I surrounding myself with good people, like genuinely good people, like drug-free people, and people that genuinely cares about you and want to see you succeed, and having that integrity and having that excellence in all you do. Like, I really do take pride in that and try to be the best person that you can be in all aspects of life. I mean, I just feel like that's what everybody should do. So I do take the core values and integrate them into my own lifestyle. But I mean, going to BMT and going to tech school, like, that really honestly changed my life.
Yeah, I remember you talking the other day about how, a lot of people, when they see BMT and they see tech school and stuff like that, they get scared because people are going to be yelling at them and telling them what to do. But you actually saw it as like structure.
Yeah, and like I said, you know my background. No parents. Like I've always been wanted to look for structure. I always wanted structure, and like I got structure throughout playing football throughout high school, and being a part of like championship teams and playing in high level football. Um, so BMT and tech school really gave me that structure to like become a man. And like when we used to actually sit down and talk and have airman's time, like people used to be us. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't take that stuff serious. Like when you talk about spiritual, mental, and financial goals, like I sit there, I'm like, okay, because I've been through a lot of my life on some real stuff. I've been through a lot, so I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, what can I do to become a better man spiritually, financial? And I used to take notes. I'll never forget. Technical Sergeant Perry was my my instructor, and I was just like, man, he always is yelling at me. What am I doing wrong? But then at the end of the day, you got to realize it's a game, and you just got to get through it. I remember getting off the bus at BMT. I'm thinking, I was scared. That was actually my first flight, actually leaving Charleston. I was always scared to think outside the realm, and that was kind of the reason why I didn't. I thought I was acting out of spite, and in the moment to join the Air Force, just like, okay, I've never left Charleston. Like, I'm really thinking outside the bubble. I'm gonna be traveling. I'm on the plane. Yeah. I saw snakes on the plane. Yeah. I don't know if we really gonna be flying that long. Right. So I was kind of nervous, but I think that was a big step because not only I finally left Charleston and I got out my comfort zone and I saw the world in a different way that I've never seen it. And it's okay to leave where you're from and become a better person. It's okay to surround yourself with people in the Air Force or people that's doing things to make their life better. And that was one of the biggest eye awakening up too. Yeah. Like it's because your mind can be a crazy thing. It can hold like it's inceptions or whatever you call it. You can put your mind can have you thinking something that's not true. Like, I used to think, oh, outside of Charleston, nothing's good out there. Like I was scared to move out and move beyond. But like after doing that, I mean, I feel like the world is mine and I can do anything now that I got people like General Walker, Colonel Chard, Colonel Farmer, people like you in my life now that I can network and have more mentors in my life and they can push me to become a better person. Also, Major Sherrod, Sergeant Walker also. Like BMT, honestly, I tell this to everybody. People think I'm crazy, but like BMT was honestly the first time I had my own bed to sleep in. Yeah. A little twin size bed. Yeah. You think, oh man, I ain't worried about that. Like some people thinking like that bed suck. I mean, to genuinely sleep on my own bed for 5 months straight, like even though it was a pandemic, like I try to find things in life that you can pull more positive or pull positives out of negatives. Because if you go and looking for negatives, that means that's just all you're going to find. You know what I mean? And it's just going to depress you or make you think negatively. So I was pulling out positive, sleeping in my own bed and, like, just thinking about after sleeping in, like, beds with 4 or 5 different people all throughout my life, never having my own room, never having my bed to sleep in. So I took pride in, like, making my bed as kind of weird as that sound, but I took pride because it was actually – I took ownership because – that was the first time in my life I ever got to sleep in my bed, and it was a great time. We got to tech school, and that's when people start really like complaining about how it's bad, and I got to tell the story. I met this great guy, Gregory Adamson. He's actually the University of Tennessee Strength and Conditioning Olympics coach, and that's the degree that I plan on to expand on in my civilian side. But I told a story because we used to do mentorship, and everybody was talking positive and how the room sucks. It's always cold, and, like, I don't like my roommate. I was like, are you serious? Like, people don't realize how good that they got it at home. And I told the story. I was like, this is the first time I'm happy. They looked at me. Everybody looking around. I was like, what, you like this room? It's 76 degrees. This bed ain't comfortable. This ain't like my Tempur-Pedic I got at home. I was like, look, I've never slept on my own bed by myself. I've literally, like, not had my own room in my life. I've never had this type of stuff given to me and trust it with it. So I really took pride in that, and I mean, the Air Force is like home, if I can just say it like that.
Yeah.
It's truly a home because it's giving me stuff that I never had and giving
Right.
me ownership, and it's instilling values in me that I can use in future generations and try to cut these generations of mistakes and try to cut them in half and
Right.
try to raise try to use these values to become a better person and think about my future and like my future kids and like show them the mistakes and instill things mistakes I made in my past to help them and become a better person also.
Right. So that's one thing we didn't talk about earlier, and I didn't even think about it until you just said it. But going through BMT and all that stuff during the pandemic, how was that?
Honestly, the first 2 weeks we got quarantined. Everybody knows the Air Force is be flexible as you can be.
Right.
One you get told one day we're doing this, next day, okay, change plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up getting quarantined, and that was honestly the most mental part of the whole process because we couldn't talk to really anybody. We got maybe a 15-minute phone call once a week. So that was kind of mentally tough because, you prepare yourself to get yelled at and always be busy every day doing work, doing something.
Right.
So, I mean, to actually sit in a room from 2 weeks and only come out for lunch and dinner. And it was kind of, honestly, that was kind of one of the hardest mental stages through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we got out of quarantine, it was like, okay, you can yell at me. I'm ready to get this thing on the road.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get it on the road. Texas is just hot. I'm gonna just go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and say it. Especially with the coronavirus going on, and we got to wear the mask.
Mhm.
It was hot, man.
Yeah.
I was sweating. It was crazy, but they instilled a lot of accommodations, different little things that we should do, like social distancing. I mean, they was a big deal on that, wearing our masks. I thought, oh man, like they kind of like doing too much, but then I had to realize I also take care of my grandmother, in Little Page. I stay there, like I give her a medicine, take her to her doctor's appointment and stuff. Right. So, I mean, for her to get coronavirus, it'll be detrimental to her compared to what I would get. So, I kind of took it serious. After a couple of days, I realized it.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it was hectic. It was a little bit hectic because it hit at a time soon as they was talking about coronavirus and like what if and before I left. But then when I got there, it's like, okay, this is serious. We got people coming in with it. Like we need to get a hold on it.
Right. Right.
So it was difficult.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did the best thing that they could do because it happened. It happened
Mm-hmm.
like that. Stuff start shutting down. So they had to act in the moments.
Yeah.
So I mean, they did the best they could do.
That's good. So let's talk about what are your future plans? First, what are your future plans for just outside in the community? And then what are your future plans within the 130th Airlift Wing?
My future plans is to first finish my degree at West Virginia State. I have about 3 more semesters till I get my bachelor's. I want to get my master's. Then after I get my master's, while I'm taking my degrees, I want to take my AFOQT. I want to commission as an officer. I just feel in life, I feel like now that I've done and been through all this stuff, I use it as motivation. And I actually told a story at BMT, and I said I wanted to be an officer. I just want to be that type of leader. I feel like once you're an officer, like you're like really a leader, and people like look up to you, and that's what I like about in life. And somebody actually laughed about it and just like jokingly, but it was like one of those laughs that like it's like okay, it's like laughing.
You're challenging me.
Yeah, you challenge me, and you don't know me, so and like me, like if somebody do something, it's just gonna push me harder. Like the doubters, like I would say the haters, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That just made me go harder. So I plan on commissioning as an officer. I would love to work at the 130th Air Wing. Just to work here and make this place a better place, because I truly believe I think outside the box I can bring to the table some things that other people can't, and I've been through a lot. I mean, you just look at my past as we was talking about. I'm willing to work. I'm a hard worker. I'm determined. If I don't know the answer, I'm gonna find the answer, and we're gonna find a solution. But in plans inside the community, what I've recently, I actually just started yesterday, so I wanted to start this mentorship with I played at Capitol High. I want to go back to Capitol High because there's a lot of at-risk children as in myself, and we didn't really have mentorships that people that's graduated and that's coming back and talking to the kids were like actually keeping in touch with them like on a daily basis. So what I would like to do, and what I'm doing right now is I'm taking I started out with 3 kids, so I got 3 kids. I call the mentorship thing. It's called ARC, A-R-C, At Risk Cougars. So I've got 3 kids: Tehans, Quez, and Lawrence. I call them LP. They all got nicknames, so I'm still working with. So what we did last night, I actually got in a group FaceTime with them. We was talking about goals in life. What's your core values? Like, what are you gonna do to get you out of the situation that you're in? What's your school goals? Like maintaining a 3.0, because I believe, a 2.0 is just something that's average. We wanna be better than average, because everybody can be average. You just wake up and you can be average. Yeah. So I truly believe that they should be doing better than a 2.0. So and for them guys to sit down and talk to me, I think that's a big step in their life, because they actually taking the time out the day to become a better person. Right. We talked about financial goals, and just go ahead and get them on a financial track to think about saving money, creating a little bank account, little steps like that. That'll go a long way. How to manage the money. Let's say I give them $100, like how instead of going buying the newest Nikes or something, how to put some of that away. Save it up for a rainy day, because not everybody got a rainy day account. Season goals for football. Spiritual goals, that was one of the biggest ones we really sat there and talked about. Most of them, even myself, we talked about, like, we need to read the scripture every day, send a verse, motivational speeches. We need to talk about that more. Read the Bible, really understand, not just read something, just understand the Bible in the context that's in it. And so every day we're going to be sending a Bible verse and mentorship. So today in our group chat, I sent the Bible verse and the motivational speech for them to, lift them up through the day if they feel down. And, like, we're going to go Tehans is tomorrow. Quez is the next day. I believe Lawrence is the next day. So, just grabbing these young kids because, throughout high school, it's kind of the toughest times of life because once you turn 18, people don't realize, and, like, myself, like, you're on your own. Right. These decisions that you make and these – like, you're on your own. If you don't have your life together, your mental, your spiritual, like, core values, life's going to hit you in the face. It's going to hit you fast. Yeah. And one of the main reasons why I really started that is because I had 2 friends I played football and kind of looked up to that recently passed away. One committed suicide, and one got killed last year on 2nd Avenue. Right. Traquan Gibson got killed last year. And I grew up with him. I grew up with his brother, Malik. We grew up together in City Park. So I actually knew him personally. Now, throughout high school growing up, we kept in touch. Like, we talked to each other, but it wasn't as the same as some people would say. But, just to see him, get killed at a young age. And, and imagine if somebody mentored and grabbed his attention and taught him the ways, taught him different things, and it was always a part of my life. I actually saw him. I wanted to lure him in my circle, but, I was still dealing with my mental and my spiritual because I got to take care of myself before I take care of anybody else, what I mean? So dealing with that and recently, and like I said, man, we don't grow up with the best situations. Like, at home, like, we can go home into a professional environment, but we go home, it's drugs, like, guns, stuff that's just not some people would see as regular. Like, and then recently, Tyrell Davis, I play football, and it's somebody I really truly looked up in football that got me playing. He played for Midwestern. He was like the Michael Vick. Right. Oh yeah, Tyrell. He used to do his thing on the field. So it was somebody that actually got me into the game and actually truly loved the game, and motivate me. He's a great guy. Used to hang out with him in high school. He's a good leader. I remember going over to his house and just hanging out with him, playing 2K. So he was a good guy. Always talked to him. great guy. I mean, talk to you, like, always happy. Like, you would never think someone will do that in his type of nature, because the man's always happy, and you never know what's going through somebody's head. Right. So, I just had to look back and, like, think about, like, my mental things and, like, how have I accomplished and ways that I did it, and, like, how can I apply this to these kids that's growing up in the ARC, the at-risk Cougars thing, and I'm going to help them talk about challenges that we go through, the lower income or minorities, however you want to put it. Like, how can we become, because I know it's like a stigma. People want to talk about, especially how you was talking about, like, in the black men community, it's like when they talk about mental health, they think they're not hard, or like it's not. Yeah. It's not something that you should talk about. It's
taboo.
Exactly.
Very
it's not.
Taboo
It's forbidden. You don't want to talk about that. You ain't gangster, or you are not hard or whatever. Like, just deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's just not something that you can deal with, because what it will do is eat you alive, like, in your head, and you start thinking things that you don't need to think about it. But, like, for me, I was opening up and talking to, like, Jeff Biddle, my pastor, and, like, praying to God. So I'm okay to talk about it. Unlike some people, like with Tyrell, I'm not for sure what he was going through, but yeah, he committed suicide and shot himself in the head. So, you know, that really woke me up, and, like, going to his funeral, and I didn't go to seeing the open casket stop by. You know, it really opened up my eyes, and, like, what I want to do in life, like, and all the things that I've been through, and, like, what I could have been, what I could have done. It really honestly opened up my eyes, because, I mean, this guy has so much potential, and if he just had one of those mentors, or, like, I mean, I preach this a lot, because, I mean, drug-free, I mean, it's the best thing to go, because, like, you use it to cope with things that you're not accepting in life, and something that's not going to benefit you in a way. So, I mean, I wish I could have sat down and talked to him and asked him how's his mental aspect and thing, how is he doing, because, you know, I mean, it's a lot of things that was going through my head, but, I mean, like I said, I try to take positives out of negatives, so, you know, I really wanted to start that mentorship after seeing him pass away in the way that he did, and how he's evolving the community, and how he committed to a championship and brought one to Charleston. So, you know, I think that's what I plan on doing also with the mentorship, showing these young guys how to do it, ways to overcome obstacles, talk to them about the Air Force and different ways. But also, on my civilian side, I would like to be a strength and conditioning coach, like coaching football.
Right.
And I feel like I connect to younger athletes and, like, athletes in college because of my background. Like, I've come from lower income.
Yeah, you've been through the grind.
You know what I mean? I've been through the grind. I didn't see the worst of the worst. You know, I done slept on many people's couches. You know what I mean? I done slept outside on a cement. And at a young age in ninth grade, you know, I done been homeless. I know what that feeling feels like, and what it is to overcome it. And, you know, growing out without a father, I mean, that's a big thing a lot of people can't handle, you know. It can really drive somebody crazy. But that's what I feel like I can coach when it comes to the coaching game. And I'm always open up with another thing when it comes to coaching. Like, you got to be willing to open up and learn. Like, you got to learn. Every day of your life, you're going to have to learn. And that's a big thing about me. I always want to learn. I feel like like I said, every day you can become a better person. That's why every colonel, like, last couple of days, I mean, I've been networking with so many people. I just want to, like, again, shout out to General Walker. I mean, truly amazing man. I sat down in his office and was just talking to him and gave him my life story. And he was so intrigued. He's been networking me, getting me in touch, and really, truly helping me.
Right.
And it's like, you can't find people that genuinely cares. If it's not benefiting them, there's not a lot of people that truly cares about people and trying to help them. So I really got that impression, and that really stuck to me, like the type of person he was, because he's been networking with me, Colonel Chard, Colonel Farmer, different colonels and different jobs, Colonel Ray, and really networking me and guiding me, giving me. I also asked him for, like, books I can read. He gave me books to read and become a better person, leadership, mentally sharp. So that's a big thing. But my main plan is the commission. What I like about the Air Force is just, like, the accountability, the drug-free. Like, I say the drug-free because, I mean, that's all I grew up around.
Yeah, it was around drugs and things like that.
And this environment is just, everybody, it's people that genuinely care, and they don't do it for the benefit of themselves. They do it for the benefit of it'll help them, the other person, to become a better person.
Right, in the future.
You know, and I truly respect that, and I love that about this environment, because I mean, in the streets, a lot of people don't. It's about me, and that's how I used to think. It's all about me. Why would I care about another kid or somebody growing up?
Right.
So once I grew up as a man and opening up about myself, you know, why not on this road of success and journey and becoming a better man? Why can I not guide other young kids that's going through the same thing as me?
Mm-hmm.
Why can I not take 2 or 3? You know, I plan on taking more, like say around 12, and taking them on, guiding them through it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they can be helping me and I not know. You know what I mean? They can be sending me a verse a day, and they can be motivating me, seeing how hard they're going and how they look up to me. That can be a key thing for me too. So.
And it's all good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to put out in the atmosphere, so to speak?
Put out in the atmosphere. I say, I mean, just talking about Tyrell and how he passed. I mean, R.I.P. That really, it truly hurt. I'm seeing personal friends grow up and pass away at a young age and have so much potential, as we was talking.
Yeah, I think it's important too, because a lot of times, I lost a real close friend when I was 19. Lost a few friends, but he was real close to me, and you just realize how close that could have been to you.
100%.
Yeah, like just one wrong move or one
decision.
Yeah, one decision. It could have been you.
Exactly.
And I think that's one thing that's real good about you going back and helping those kids back at Capitol, because, you can be that person that
changes the culture.
Yeah, changes them before they make that one wrong move.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I can be the person that breaks generation curses amongst the community, and
because you're doing it in your own,
in
your own life,
and people are like surprised as hell when they see me out there in Little Page and like these lower income communities. Like I'm out there running around, I'm doing things that none of these guys are really thinking about doing, and it's like, okay, maybe I need to get my stuff together,
right?
And that's what I truly do it for, honestly, because like I said, there wasn't a lot of people growing up and like really out there trying to be motivational or like
try to impact you
and have a good impact. I mean, it was some guys, don't get me wrong. Like yesterday, I went on a 3-mile run. I mean, on the west side, and some people might, well, why the hell are you running on the west side? That's dangerous. I mean, if I'm scared to do that, then I'll be scared to do a lot of things. So I think it's just showing them kids, like, do anything you want. Put your head to it. I mean, you ain't got to be scared of your own community. I just think about running and doing things inside the community that gives them motivation,
Right.
Instead of seeing, like, people always drinking, smoking, doing drugs, or just staying at home, not being productive, it really gives them that image in their head that they can do something.
Right. Well, once again, I just want to thank you for being on this show. And this is going to do this for this episode of The Drop. For more information about the 130th Airlift Wing, visit us on the web at www.130aw.ang.af.mil. Additionally, you can find us on all major social media platforms. Lastly, you can see us in the skies delivering freedom with courage. This is Master Sergeant Dewan Haley reminding you to stay ready to go.